Friends, a very warm welcome from Aussie's group. Today we are back with our interactive question answer series. I am Malcolm and today I am with me, Mr. Gaurang. So how are you today?
I'm fine, Malcolm. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, Malcolm, we are back as usual with our PTE live interactive Q&A session.
That's right.
And today we are going to be doing the reading section.
Right.
What is the task type?
Today we are going to see the multiple choice choose multiple answer question type.
Okay, an interesting one and also one that causes a lot of confusion among PTE test takers.
That's right. And there are, I think, many reasons why such confusion exists.
Right.
And I think the main thing is the title itself of the task, which says that you need to select all the correct responses.
Right.
And the second instruction is that more than one response is correct.
Correct.
And generally people are confused that more than one means what?
That's true. Well, there is also another confusion in this because this is one task that has got negative marking.
That's true. Partial negative scoring. That's right. And again, it leads to confusion, unnecessary confusion among test takers. Yes.
So we will be addressing all of these in today's session.
That's right.
And we will also be sharing certain practical ideas on how this particular task type should be attempted.
That's right.
Right. So Malcolm, how do we start? What do we start with? Should we take an example first, or should we just straight away go into discussing?
I think yes, we should first try to clear the scoring parameters, and then maybe the right approach, and later follow it with an example. I think that would be better.
Yeah, that should be better. So what is the scoring pattern for this one?
Right, definitely. Now, as PT has clearly written, that there are 3 tasks in PT out of 20 which have partial negative scoring, and one of those tasks is this one.
Correct.
Now, the meaning of partial negative scoring is very straightforward. For every right response you select out of the given 5 to 7 options, you get +1 credit or +1 point. For every incorrect option, you get -1.
Right.
For example, let's say we have 5 options.
Correct.
And let's say option number 3, 4, 5 are correct.
Correct.
And let's say I select 3, 4, 5. What will I get? I will get 3 out of 3 and out of 90 points.
Correct.
So that's a good thing. But let's say I select 2, 3, 4 instead of 3, 4, 5. So now 3 and 4, 2 are correct, but 1 is incorrect. So +2, -1, so I'll get 1 out of 3. And the worst scenario could be, let's say I select 1 and 2 instead of 3, 4, 5. So now both are correct. So many times people think that PT has negative marking.
Right.
Which is obviously not true, as we are saying, because the keyword is partial negative.
Correct.
Which means that out of 5, even if I select 2 and both are incorrect, I will get
0.
0.
Right, that's true. So the negative marks that you get, you cannot get a score of less than 0 in this question.
Right, you cannot.
There is no negative mark carried forward to the overall score, or it applies to any other question out of this.
True.
So it will stay with this question. Even if you are selecting both incorrect, you can only get 0, nothing less than that.
Right. Now, Gaurang, many times people have confusion that let's say there are 4 options,
right?
A, B, C and D. And let's say A and B are right. And as I said, let's say we select A and B. So what will we get?
We'll get 2 credits.
We'll get 2 because both are right.
Correct.
But let's say I select A and C.
You will get 0.
I'll get +1 for A.
And -1 for
C.
C. So you'll get 0. Yes.
And now let's say I select just A.
You will get +1.
I will still get +1.
Yes. Definitely yes.
Right. So friends, as Gaurang correctly says, many times people are under impression that because of the instruction states you need to select all the correct responses. So I think what people think many times is that if you select just one, and if you're not selecting all the correct responses, you get a negative point for not selecting the remaining ones.
No, this is something that you need to get really clear about.
Right.
If you do not select an option, you do not get negative marks. Right. Only for selecting, the keyword here is selecting a wrong option, you get negative marks.
Right. So for not selecting the right one, it's unaffected.
Yes. So if there are suppose 3 correct options and you just select 2 correct ones, you will get 2 credits.
That's
the third one not selected is not a negative credit.
Right. That's
and this applies across all the 3 task types
of multiple
where
answer.
There are negative marks. Yes, partial negative marks.
That's right. So the best thing should be what then? Ideally, I think it's a question of time management, I think.
Yes, ideally. Now, Malcolm, is there any thumb rule that can be followed when it comes to how many correct options are there before we discuss the right way to do it?
Right. So as we said, generally there are 5 to 7 total
Right.
options, out of which generally I've seen that if it's, let's say, around 5 or 6 options, generally 2 are right.
Correct.
If it is more than 5, that is, let's say, 6 or 7, there is a chance that 3 answers are correct. But there is, I don't think...
Again, it's not really clarified or
Yeah.
in any way. But a thumb rule that you can follow is if you have 4 or 5 options,
Yeah.
just select maximum of 2 correct answers.
That's right.
If it's 6 or 7, try to look for a third one, but do not waste time on it.
Right. Don't waste time.
Yes.
Now, again, the thing is, Gaurang, that since PTE reading is an entirely dynamic module, we never know where multiple choice questions come, unfortunately.
Definitely.
They can come at the beginning, they can come later, they can come anytime. So actually, I think the best thumb rule will be, depending on the position, how much time you give or
Yes.
take for it.
Yes. If it's at the very start,
That's the worst
Maybe.
position, ideally.
maybe you might have to give some more time to it. If it's towards the end and you're running out of time, go ahead with it quickly.
Right. But I think since the overall weightage is not that much, so maximum, how much time per question? Not
I
much,
would say not more than a minute and a half.
Yeah, more than enough, I think. So if you're not getting multiple options right, what do you do then? Just go to the next
Yes,
question.
yes.
Definitely.
See, one of the things that I have found to be effective for this particular question type is that soon as you get the question on your screen,
Right.
don't read the passage first.
Right. Wastes a lot of time.
Yes, it wastes a lot of time. Often the passages are really lengthy,
Really
up to
lengthy.
300, 350 words. That's more than the essay. Right? You don't really need to look at it
Right.
fully.
Right.
Rather look at the question,
Right.
then look at the options, try and identify keywords from the
Keywords.
options,
That's right.
and then go ahead and read the passage quickly, skimming through it, match the keywords. If you find them, select the answer.
Select them. Right. Just be quick, I think.
Yes.
You can't waste much time.
Unless you have to infer something,
Right.
then you might have to pay a bit
Yeah,
more
sometimes
attention.
questions are like, what does the author assume? What does the author
Yes.
mean? Risky question, potential risky question types.
Although they are rare, they are few and
Yes.
far between.
Yes.
But if your luck is just out, you might get one of those questions.
That's true.
Okay, we have our regular contributor Jug Roshan here. Jug Roshan, thank you again for posting the question. What do we have? Could you please help me to decipher these question types? I mean, are they different or same story, different words? Is there any specific section which we need to focus on to find the answer for each? What does the writer want to say in this passage? What is the main idea, main aim, main point? What is the writer's point of view, opinion on? Is the last one more focused on the conclusion? Well, Jagroshan, if you look at it, all 3 questions are just paraphrases of each other. They all 3 mean the same thing. You are required to identify what is the main point, the key summary or perspective of the entire passage, and select the answers that connect to it.
I would also like to add that generally this question which you've written, what is the writer's main point of view, what is the main idea, generally I've seen such questions comes in multiple choice, choose single answer, because main idea generally with multiple choice to single answer.
Yes.
In such question types, generally the question type is like which of these are correct or which are incorrect, which are consistent with the writer's viewpoint. So then maybe you need to select multiple options.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Also, now one thing that I have found works out better for these type of questions is that suppose there are more than one correct answer, but you are running out of time.
Right.
Don't really waste time on it.
Right.
Right? Select the first one that seems right and
Just
move
do
on.
next. That's it. That's the important thing I think he's saying. He hit the nail right on the head. Just don't waste time. Ideally, as he correctly said, not more than 1 or 1.5 minutes, because then you'll have less time for remaining tasks, which are really the high scoring tasks.
Yes.
Mainly blanks, reorders. If you don't have time, unfortunately, what you'll have to do, you'll have to guess when you reach that task.
So if you are looking at overall weightage in the reading section, I would say reorder paragraph and fill in the blanks. They carry a lot more
That's
weightage,
true.
maximum weightage. You cannot possibly ignore the drop down fill in the blanks
Yes.
because they give you marks for writing.
Right.
So it's an integrated task. So extremely high weightage. But with multiple choice questions, single correct choose single answer, and multiple choice questions choose multiple answers, you can take a bit of a risk, move on quickly.
That's right. So I think let's take an example now.
Yes, we
So
can take
if
an
we can
example.
take an example quickly, I think it will give a better understanding to viewers, please. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Please. So, let us just take a look at the passage that is there. Okay, the passage reads, adaptations enable living organisms to cope with environmental stresses and pressures. Adaptation can be structural or behavioral. Structural adaptations are special body parts of an organism that help it to survive in its natural habitat. Example, skin color, shape, body covering. Behavioral adaptations are the ways a particular organism behaves to survive in its natural habitat. Psychological adaptations are systems present in an organism that allow it to perform certain biochemical reactions. Example, making venom, secreting slime, being able to keep a constant body temperature. Adaptations are traits that have been selected for by natural selection. The underlying genetic basis for the adaptive trait did not arise as a consequence of the environment. The generic variant pre-existed and was subsequently selected because it provided the bearer of that variant some advantage. Malcolm, what are the questions that go with this? The question and the options.
Yes, the question is, which of the following are true statements about adaptations? So I think we'll cover the options and also discuss
Yes.
them. Now the first option is, they can be structural, behavioral or psychological adaptations.
Right.
Now in the passage, we have just got two main things. Adaptations can be structural or behavioral. There is nothing mentioned, I think, about psychological. What is? I'm sorry, it's physiological. My mistake.
Physiological.
Or physiological adaptations. And yes,
It is saying
mentioned.
physiological adaptations.
Yes, so then this should be one of the right answers.
Yes, should be, but let us take a look at the other answers before we arrive at a
Definitely.
conclusion.
The second option is, they must occur in physical appearances of special body parts of an organism.
Okay.
Third is, they are new genes created due to the benefits they offer in a particular environment. The last one is, they are created by the environment to help an organism survive in its habitat.
Okay.
Now, I was saying that one of the better ways, one of the ways which you can pursue is that elimination as well.
Correct.
So if something is just not matching with the passage, I would suggest just eliminate it.
Yes. So if we look at the options given, they mostly occur in physical appearances of spatial body parts of an organism.
Yes.
This is actually not consistent with what the questions, the passage starts with, because it is saying adaptations can be structural or behavioral.
Right.
And out of that, structural adaptations are special body parts.
Right.
So it is not just that
Mostly
mostly
there,
occur in
that's
physical,
right, it's not
right?
true,
That is
that's right.
structural as
And
well as,
behavioral,
as is behavioral. So
Yes.
you can
So they
eliminate.
mostly occur is not true, so obviously
Yes.
we eliminate that one.
Yes. Then the third one says they are new genes created to increase an organism's chance of survival. Now if you look at the last sentence,
Last part, yes.
it is saying
Yes.
the underlying genetic basis for the adaptive trait did not arise as a consequence of the environment. The genetic variant pre-existed.
That's right.
Just that word pre-existed
Pre-existed
makes number
eliminates
3
this one.
eliminates.
Yes.
Number 4, the genes are selected due to the benefits they offer in a particular environment.
Yes.
I think that is being said.
Yes. That's
And
right.
was subsequently selected because it provided the bearer of the variant some advantage.
Advantage, that's right. So the genes are giving benefits, but they
Yes.
are not created, they are pre-existing.
Pre-existing. So
That's
number,
right.
number 4 is
Four
correct.
right, that's right.
And number 5, they are created by the environment to help an organism survive in its habitat. But the environment is not creating
Not
anything.
helping, it's not helping, it's clearly mentioned, so easily we can eliminate the fifth one as well.
Fifth one as well. Now since there are multiple correct answers, so there have got to be at least
At
two
least
correct
two,
answers.
that's right.
We have eliminated 3 out of them. We have selected that one is correct.
Right.
Automatically what is left, number 1,
Has to be
they
right.
are structural, behavioral or psychological adaptations is also correct.
That's right.
By working this way, if you look at it, we again took just about a minute plus.
Right.
Still,
Both
we
the answers.
have got both the answers. Right? This is how you should be doing it.
Right.
So-
So generally, yes, it's one of the better ways that you just eliminate the wrong ones and get the right option.
Exactly. Now, Malcolm, how many questions of this type will we encounter in the exam?
Just around 2 to 3, I reckon.
Okay.
Minimum 2, maximum 3. It's very rare that you get more than 3 questions.
But what are the chances of getting just one?
One also can come, because sometimes it also happens that it might happen that you don't get any question of multiple choice single answer, you get just questions of multiple choice multiple answers, and very rarely it can happen, it has happened with me as well, that I got just one question of, or let's say two questions of multiple choice single answer, did not get multiple choice multiple answers.
One of my students had this happening to him.
Yes.
He started with multiple choice multiple answer,
Right.
got just one question,
Right.
and then multiple choice single answers came at the very end,
Right.
wherein he had 4 of them.
Okay.
He was,
Bit
the poor
baffled.
guy was a bit baffled.
Right.
He was initially thinking, oh, I'm not going to get in the multiple choice.
But
and
he
then
got.
he got them.
So it's not fixed. Well, Jagroshan, thank you for asking the question. We also have some question from another of our students or followers,
Yeah,
which is about...
the name is in Punjabi, so is that okay? Well, that would be okay. You have to focus on fluency in speaking section.
Right.
However, with fluency, you also need your grammar to be accurate.
That's
if your
right.
grammar is not accurate, you will definitely not get sufficient marks. That plus your pronunciation.
Right.
Yes. So without fluency, you are definitely not going to get anything for speaking.
That's right.
But again, speaking is not really the section that we are discussing over here right now. The focus is on reading multiple choice questions, choose multiple answers.
That's right.
Okay.
And Gaurang, is there anything else you'd like to add for reading multiple choice task?
But with reading multiple choice task, you have to be quick. You have to have your focus on the passage that is given. If you're not very happy with reading things, skim through it quickly, look at the options, give the answer and move on. Do not spend time. I
That's
cannot
right.
stress enough on this. Do not waste time on this particular task type, because it will only and only increase your stress and not help you complete the section.
That's right. I think we have covered most of the things in multiple
Yes.
choice, multiple answers, and it doesn't require, I think,
No,
much.
it does not require too much of going in
Ideas.
depth into it. It's not that high weightage, so it is okay. Well, if there are any other questions that any of our viewers wish to ask, we would be happy to answer that.
Definitely.
But in the meantime, Malcolm, what's happening with our 90s stream?
Thank you for asking, Gaurang. This week has been really good for us. In the last 2 days, we have got 2 students who have got a score of perfect 90. A perfect 90 is 90 each and 90 overall.
Right, that's fantastic.
That's really good. One of them, his name is Rafkat, he's from Bangladesh. And the other girl, she's from India. I think she's a Gujarati girl. Her name is Shreya.
Okay, that's
So
great.
both of them,
Yeah.
like
But being a Gujarati, I always feel proud when somebody from the state achieves a fantastic result. But
definitely.
at the same time, I must say we have had amazing results from our Bangladesh students.
Definitely, they are. I would dare to say they are one of the best when it comes to English, especially even for us. I've seen before, but for PTE, they generally nail it.
Yes, we have had examples where students from Bangladesh just through PTE tutorials have achieved perfect 90s,
True.
and then we also had a lot of examples over here
That's true.
who have achieved perfect 90s. And we are talking only about perfect 90s over here. We are not even going to those who have achieved
Overall 90s.
overall
even
90s
yeah.
or even above 80 scores.
Yes.
Because right now we are talking about perfect 90s. That's the only reason. No credit taken away from them. They have
Yes.
done fantastic as well.
Definitely.
Okay, and what's happening with the masterclass?
Definitely, we had a really good masterclass in Parramatta, Sydney last Sunday. There were many people who attended it. I'm very confident that they will definitely get a very high score. Most of them should get a band 8 score or plus.
That's amazing.
Yes, and definitely this Saturday as well, we are having a masterclass in Melbourne. That is on the 17th of February. We'll be having it at our CBD premises. The class will start at 11 in the morning and go on till 5:30 in the evening. So in case friends you are yet to register for it, please go to ptetutorials.com, and under that you will see the coaching tab. Under coaching you will see the Melbourne masterclass. You just need to go there, click, pay $129 and that's it, you are registered.
Remember people, this is just one class
Yes.
to get your desired score. Just one class. It's not a full coaching session, but it is an entire coaching program rolled into one single day of 6 hours.
That's right. So for example, the girl we just mentioned, Shreya, she just attended that one class last week, and I think that was more than enough for her to get 90. And believe me, she was excellent in the English. The only issue maybe she had was a bit in speaking, and just jumped to 90
Yes,
immediately.
and we have had so many amazing outcomes from the masterclass as well as from our coaching
That's true.
that we have seen, wherein people, and speaking is one area where a lot of people struggle.
That's true.
those who are scoring 90 in reading, 90 in listening would be getting 50 or 60 in speaking.
True.
And there have been so many examples. One of our students, Aditi, scored 53 first, and then straight to 90.
90,
that is a leap jump, I would say.
That's true.
Right. Okay, people, unfortunately we are having some technical issue with Facebook. While we are still live, we are unable to see the questions. So in case you have put up any questions, we will surely be replying to you by direct message. Please stay there with us and we will be getting back to you with the answers to your questions. Unfortunately, we are unable to do it live because Facebook, the question section does not seem to be loading for us.
Alright, so which task are you going to take next week now?
Well, we'll be continuing with the reading section, and in the reading section we'll be taking the drag and drop fill in the blanks.
One of the most important tasks for your reading and writing scores.
So the drag and drop is just for reading.
Drag?
Drop down is
I'm
for
very
writing.
sorry. Drag and drop is just for reading, you're right.
See, even we can get confused
That's
sometimes, right? After all, we are just humans.
That's right.
However, this is a very, very important task because it gives you a lot of score for your vocabulary.
Vocabulary, that's right. Absolutely right.
And also, it carries a lot of weightage for reading.
Reading score.
So you cannot ignore or afford to miss this task.
That's right. Alright, I think we've covered most of the things for today's class, and hopefully next week again we'll be meeting our viewers very soon.
Sure. Till then, stay engaged, keep studying, and remember, think Aussies, think PTE. All the best.
All the best. Thank you.